Your business, your rules. Grow a business that works for you. This is the HerBusiness Podcast. Hey there, Suzi here. Welcome to the HerBusiness Podcast. I'm the CEO at HerBusiness. I am also your host. And you are in the right place if you've built your business, but you're now craving more clarity, better systems, a way to grow that actually feels sustainable. And this podcast is all about making smart decisions, leading with more confidence, and surrounding yourself with the right support as you move into your next phase of growth. Now, in today's episode, I want to talk about something that's been coming up again and again in my conversations with women in our network. And it's the question of, do I have too many offers? Am I trying to sell too many different things? Should I be simplifying? How do I get more results without starting from scratch or throwing everything out? So if you've ever been pulled in 100 directions, and who hasn't, or you're trying to sell multiple services, you're juggling different products, and you're still not seeing the money in the bank or the momentum that you want, then this episode is for you. We're going to dive into how to simplify your products and services without starting over, and I'll share a personal story of how we let go of a major revenue stream this year and how that actually created space for us to have more growth. I'm also going to give you a really simple 3-step approach to help you get more clarity, more focus, and have more ease in your business. And who doesn't want more ease? And I'm going to be revisiting something we touched on in a recent episode, which was called How to Market Multiple Offers, because simplifying isn't just about what you sell, but also about how clearly you guide your clients on what to buy from you first. So let's get into it. One woman I spoke to recently had, I'm not kidding you, almost 50 different service packages and online products. And she said to me, I feel like I'm marketing all the time, but no one's really buying. I'm always switching focus and it's exhausting. And I totally get it. And this is actually quite common. It's easy to fall into this trap. We say yes to too many opportunities. We get bright ideas of different things we could sell. We're afraid of letting go of income streams just in case someone buys it. And we haven't stopped long enough to say, what is really working? And what is the result we're getting? And so what we do is we find ourselves stretched thin. Our audience gets confused about what we actually want them to do. And we can even start dreading parts of our work that once lit us up, but that no longer does. And it can feel like we're running in circles, and instead of growing, we're just super busy. So if you're feeling that right now, know this. This might be a sign that it might be time to simplify in order to grow. Or simplify, as I like to say, in order to amplify. So this past year, actually just over the last few months, we made a decision to let go of a major revenue stream in our business. Now, this was a proven service, a proven offer. It brought in income, but it was no longer aligned with the direction that we wanted to go in. So we realized that keeping it going was costing us something bigger: our time, our energy, our ability to focus. And as I say I mean, it wasn't just something that took my time and energy, but also my team's. And it took our focus on creating something new, which we were craving, and something more aligned with where we were heading and the focus that we wanted to have. And yes, it was scary to let it go, but here's what happened. We created space. Now we have space to innovate, space to rest. Isn't that nice? Space to double down on the offers that really light us up and to serve our community best. And most importantly, letting go of something you already do doesn't mean that you're going to be less profitable. If anything, it could make you more profitable because now you can focus on the right things. Now, over the years, and I've been running this organization for 30 years, we've steadily reduced our range of products and services. We, like the lady I mentioned, we used to have over 100 things for sale on our site: short courses, things on demand, multi-part programs, in-person events, plus our core offers, our membership, and at the time, mentoring. We now offer far less, but those offers are more focused, they're more aligned, and they're more valuable to our clients. And so this year for me, less is definitely more. And I've been building more lifestyle into my business as well. And I couldn't have done that without simplifying. I just this week took another major event off the calendar for 2026 to allow us more time again. So, how do you simplify without starting over? The good news is that you do not have to start from scratch. Sometimes all it takes is a few smart decisions and you'll have more flow, more focus, more freedom. So I want to step back to what I said earlier, and that is this simplify to amplify approach. And I want to give you 3 steps that you can take. And the very first step is to review what you offer. So start by getting out a clean sheet of paper, a notebook, a new document online, and think about, what are you selling right now? What products, what services, what programs, what memberships, what courses, what retainers, what are you selling? And then ask yourself, what's actually working? Now you need to define what working means. What do I love delivering? What feels heavy or outdated? What would I not create again if I was starting from scratch? So that was one of the questions that I had to ask myself. Like, would I create this in the same way? Would it have this same format and time commitment if I was starting from scratch? And the answer was no. And so for me, it was a decision to, okay, I can't change the game. I can't recreate it because there's people in this program that we were running to better serve me or better serve them. It's kind of what it is. So would I create it that way if I was starting from scratch? And no, I wouldn't. So one woman in our community, she realised that her low-cost services, they were taking up so much time, but they weren't actually bringing in a whole lot of profit. Now, she was spending 80% of her time on them and seeing very little return. So for her, when she asked the question, would I create it this way again? The answer was no. And so she could make that change to say, okay, well, what do I love delivering? How do I get rid of this thing that feels heavy or outdated? So that's step number one, and that's review what you offer. Step number two is decide what you want people to buy first. This is a game changer. We talked about this in the recent episode called How to Market Multiple Offers. When you know what you want people to buy first, you stop feeling like you're constantly shouting, buy my thing, about everything. So for us, it's clear. We want women to join the HerBusiness network first. That's the door that opens up the entire world of our business to these women. Once they're inside, they naturally become part of other programs. Mentoring, masterminds, retreats, all the different things we offer, courses. The journey becomes really clear and supportive for them, not overwhelming. So I encourage you to ask yourself, what is the best entry point offer that I can give my clients? What is the first step that you want your ideal client to take? When you lead in your messaging, out in the market with one thing, marketing becomes so much easier. Messaging becomes clearer, and your business, it starts to feel so much more cohesive. So that is number two, decide what you want people to buy first. And step number three is streamline and make space. Now, this is the powerful part. This is the part where you let go. So what that means is retiring outdated offers. And by outdated, it could be that the way that they're delivered or what they actually promise is kind of been and done. You might want to consolidate some similar products, or saying not right now to ideas that aren't aligned with your focus for the next 12 months. You can always bring something back later. So really streamline. Look at your year ahead, the next 12 months, and say, what is it that I want to be offering? And the clearer you can be on that, the more streamlined, the more space you're going to have to do a really good job of marketing those things. Remember, every offer you keep just in case someone buys it is taking up space. Mental space, space in your calendar, space that could be used for something better aligned, more profitable, more sustainable. Now, you don't have to do all these 3 steps at once. Just start. Review one offer this week. Ask, does this still serve my clients and me in the best way possible? Now, I want to have you have a way to gauge if it's time to simplify. And so here are a few signs that you might be ready to simplify some of your products and services. One is that you're feeling pulled in too many directions, or that you dread selling or delivering certain offers. So if you sell something and then it feels like a bummer, okay, now I have to deliver this, then you don't want that in your product and offer suite. If you feel like you're pulled in too many directions and you're not doing a good job of marketing anything, that might be a sign. If you can't even clearly explain what that offer is in a couple of sentences, if it's kind of convoluted, and sometimes we do that. We create something because we think there's a need, or one person asked for it and now we've got this thing and it's a bit of a hybrid and we don't know how to talk about it. That could be a sign that it's time to simplify. Or you're just working way too hard, but you're not seeing the results that you want. If any of those things sound like you, and I'll say them again, you feel pulled in too many directions, you dread selling or delivering something, you can't clearly explain what it is, or you're working too hard at it but not seeing the results, if that sounds like you, I want to encourage you to take just one step. make a list of your current offers. Circle the ones that are aligned. Cross out the ones that feel heavy or outdated. Even if you can't sideline them right now, at least you know that that is your plan. But there might be some things that you can immediately take off the offers list. And then ask, what's the one thing I want to lead with? What's the first thing that I want people to buy? And how can I shape everything else around that? Once you've made those decisions and you look at your calendar forward, then you can say, okay, well, this is the thing I want to sell. This is going to be my promotional period. This is going to be when I'm selling. This is when I'm delivering. Suddenly you have more space in your calendar. Suddenly it's not piled up on top of you. Okay, so those 3 steps again, I want to give you. This is the simplify to amplify approach. 1, review what you offer. 2, decide what you want people to buy first. That's what you're going to double down on. And streamline and make space. So, simplifying, here's what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean you're going to be playing small. It doesn't mean you're going to be making less money. What it does mean is that you're creating clarity and focus. And for me, peace of mind is something that comes with that. When I'm clear and focused, I have peace of mind. I sleep better. It means that you're making space to grow and for new beautiful opportunities to come your way. So whether you are offering 1 thing or 10 things, get clear on that first step you want your clients to take. Let go of anything that no longer fits and trust that by doing less with more focus, it's going to lead to so much more. I know that can seem counterintuitive, that what if I have fewer things to sell that I will do better? But trust me on this. When we had 100 plus things on our website, we were doing less revenue than we're doing now. We were doing less profit than we're doing now. Because when you simplify, you amplify, things grow. So I want to invite you to tell me what you're going to let go of. You can direct message me over on Instagram. You'll find it at HerBusiness on Instagram. Let me know an offer you're going to review or retire. If you haven't listened to the episode that's related to this topic, which is how to market multiple offers, I recommend that you listen to it. You're going to find it at HerBusiness Podcast or anywhere you listen to podcasts. It was episode 346. I'll also link to it in the show notes from today, and I'll tell you where to find those in just a moment. And I want to invite you, if you are not part of the HerBusiness Network, to head on over to herbusinessnetwork.com and apply to join us. These are the sort of conversations we're having all day. How do I do less and achieve more? How do I streamline my products and services? So all month in February, we're looking at how do we streamline our products and services? How do we charge the right prices? How do we craft compelling offers that people want to buy? And we've put hundreds and hundreds, actually over $1,000 worth of resources available to our members for free in a guide on how to focus in on your products and services this month. And you can get instant access to that when you join the network. So as I said, if you're not part of the network, do go ahead and apply. Now, I want to read a review for this show from one of our incredible listeners, Justine Parsons. She listened to episode 336, which is called Reflect Now, Relax Later. And it was one that we released at the end of 2025, and it was about how to step into 2026 with intention. It's not too late for you to listen to this episode. So she, let me tell you what she does, because I love shouting out women's businesses. She helps ambitious female founders step out of the day-to-day and into true leadership. And she doesn't just strategize, she helps women implement. So she doesn't add to your to-do list, she helps you clear it. She sounds like a genius. And she doesn't push cookie-cutter frameworks. She helps build what suits you in your business. And so her company is called The Lever. And so she put a post, I think this was on LinkedIn, and she said, here's the scene. We're off to Vanuatu on Monday. My idea of a rainy day fun is sitting down with a pen, paper, and strategy for the year ahead. Naturally, she says, I popped on an episode by Suzi Daphnis of HerBusiness about ending the year strong. I was drifting off until I heard my name. She said a few months ago I'd commented on one of Suzi's posts. Unknown to me, she included a shout out in the episode. She said, here's the honest truth. Yesterday was and she says a word that I'm not going to say. She said it was one of those days where the wheels feel like they're falling off. She said, but hearing my name mentioned by someone I look up to, by a woman who leads with such heart and wisdom, thank you so much. She said, turned my day into a best day ever. And she said, why am I sharing this? And I'm sharing this with you because I think this is such a great message. She says, why am I sharing this? Because entrepreneurship can feel like an uphill battle some days. Kindness has the impact to change that. I was lying in bed on cloud nine last night. Thank you. And then she goes on to recommend that you follow Suzi, and that's me, and that you never underestimate giving someone a shout out or a DM, something I absolutely love to do. We love to promote our members. And so, Justine, thank you so much for listening. Thank you. I'm glad I made your day. I hope Vanuatu was loads and loads of fun. So if you enjoyed this episode, like Justine enjoyed that episode that we delivered just before Christmas, we would love it if you would leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, or you can send us a direct message over on Instagram. And if you don't follow us on Instagram, do, because we're always posting really fun things. You'll find a summary of today's episode and links to other resources, including the episodes that I mentioned, on our website at herbusiness.com/348. If you're new to the show, subscribe, follow wherever you are listening, and join us in the next episode for more inspiring stories and lessons from successful female entrepreneurs. We've got a great guest coming up next week, so be sure to follow. Bye for now.